but I know a list that don't exist, and buddy, so do you. It's the Epstein List, it's a mystery list with a twist, it's a myth of a list that we all just missed.
I don't know, I heard as a Democratic hoax. That's
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
But
well, it's certainly not a hoax if you go to jail.
We did it, folks.
We did it, Joe.
We may have broken Joe Rogan. Allow me to explain. Joe Rogan's recent episode is blowing up right now after this clip got picked up and went absolutely viral. You have Call to Activism, Vote In or Out playing the clip saying, major breaking, the Trump DOJ team are in full panic mode after their hopes of having podcaster Joe Rogan help them ease the uproar over the Epstein files went up in flames. And this is from just a day ago, so clearly things are still going on. Rogan poked fun at Trump today for calling it a, quote, Democratic hoax and even advised his listeners to consider voting differently in the future. And I will play that clip and more for you in a second. And I am not usually a Joe Rogan listener. I haven't been for a long time for obvious reasons. But this episode is different because of who Joe Rogan had on. This is folk singer Jesse Wells. And I want to share with you a bit of his work first. We'll get to the Epstein one in a moment, a song titled The List that is fantastic. But the one that made him blow up was one about United Healthcare, that the two of them actually watched together on this episode. Check this out.
And so I only know of you from the videos that you put up on Instagram. And specifically, I think it was the United Healthcare guy was the first one, right? Which was really good, dude. It's the lyrics and the timing of it all. You captured the moment. And that song, to me, was like, yeah, that's what the fuck is going on.
right.
That's what's really going on. They don't give a shit about you, and they're just trying to make money. And that's why when this guy got shot, there was this reaction from people, which is very rare when someone gets assassinated when people celebrate.
Right.
When someone's not like a mass murderer or something.
It was bizarre.
It was bizarre.
It's I mean, it must mean something is up. If people are celebrating somebody's death, something is wrong.
And across both sides of the aisle, it's not a political thing. It is a human thing. They're like, these people, they take your fucking money, you pay them, and then when something comes up, you don't get covered. And there doesn't seem to be any repercussions. And to fight it, you have to go to court. And you usually don't have the money to go to court. And they have a lot of fucking money.
Right.
And they, have been doing this for a long time. And now they're using AI to make sure that they pay less.
And a person and a chair, and you paid for it all, though you may be unaware. You paid for the paper, you paid for the phone, you paid for everything they need to deny you what you're owed. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. Now the procedure that you're needing ain't the cost-effective route, and only 2% of people end up winning a dispute. So if you get sick, pray to God for help, cause your doctor's gotta pray to United Health. Way back in 77, Mr. Richard T. Burke started buying HMOs, putting federal grants to work, made 50 billion buckaroos. Last year the Warren Buffett of health, the Jeff Bezos of fear. Now CEOs come and go, and one just went. The ingredient you got, bake the cake you get. But if you get sick, cross your fingers for luck, cause old Richard T. Burke ain't giving a fuck. Commoditized health, monopolized fraud. Here's the doctors we own and the research we bought. They own the pharmacies and a lot of the meds. They should start buying graves to sell us when we're all dead. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity.
An absolute banger, and more of that to come. But this is why people are referring to Jesse Wells as like a modern-day millennial Bob Dylan. You let me know in the comments if you think that comparison is adequate. I'm sure many of you have a lot to say on that. But now, I want to share with you this viral moment from a little later in the conversation where they talk about something near and dear to our heart, the Epstein List, which, as we'll see after the clip, was the inspiration behind Jesse Wells' second most famous song, The List. Check this out, and then we'll play that song.
I'm trying very hard to get away with this one. I don't know if the people are going to forget.
People are never going to forget. The problem is, do we have any power? What do we do? What do you do? You definitely can change the way you vote, like if it comes up again. But the problem is, this is a bipartisan issue.
It's a bipartisan. It's not. I don't know. I heard as a Democratic hoax. That's
yeah. I don't think that's true.
But
Well, it's certainly not a hoax if you go to jail. Certainly not a hoax if Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail too. So like she's in jail for sex trafficking. Excuse me. She's in jail for sex trafficking. But the question is to who? Who's she in who? You have to be sex trafficking to somebody in order to go to jail, right?
Yeah.
So who? How's that work? She's been in jail for years. So like how's that work?
Is she looking at a pardon? Are they gonna?
I don't know, but they just moved her to another prison.
They moved.
It's supposed to be a nice prison, as far as prisons
They
go.
moved her to kill her.
Could be. But why would you waste the money to move someone if you wanted to kill them? I'm sure they could kill her pretty easy.
Now look, I'm sure we all have our thoughts on Joe Rogan, none of them very good. And we will end this video by highlighting the incredible work of Jesse Wells here, because he's the one who actually deserves it. But real quick, I just want to agree with this comment full-heartedly right here, because I think this person in the comments puts it so well. They said, Joe Rogan helped build the megaphone Trump screamed through, and now he wants credit for pointing out the obvious fact that Trump lies? Fine, but the damage is already done. Years of misinformation spread under the guise of, quote, just asking questions has already diluted public thinking. One moment of clarity doesn't erase years of distortion. Couldn't agree more at Ryan Light Films, and that is why I want to highlight the man who has not been distorting anything and straight up singing truth to power. Make sure you give this guy a follow. He's on TikTok, Instagram, and he has a new album coming out soon, The Devil's Den. All of his songs are incredible, but this one is by far the best. Here is Jesse Wells' The List.
Well, you got your bucket list, your grocery list, your list of things to do. You got a list of all your wishes, that's a wish list, dude. You got your Amazon and Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy too. But I know a list that don't exist, and buddy, so do you. It's the Epstein List, it's a mystery list with a twist. It's a myth of a list that we all just missed. Be an optimist, not a pessimist. If you wish to persist, it's probably best you forget that list. Now what were we talking about? I don't remember, but I can sleep a lot better at night. Yeah, life can just go along, knowing there's 10,000 hours of sunshine and flowers and nobody doing a damn thing wrong. Hear no, see no, damn Bongino, Cash Patel. Well, I wouldn't wanna be a sweating man with bulging eyes. Now tell me them fellas ain't compromised. Any implicated dude will tell you, anybody on the big list knows just how far the folks in charge will go to keep the status quo.
And folks, actually, as I was wrapping up this video, I found a little more that I'd like to share with you. A moment that he posted on his own TikTok where Joe Rogan asked him, how do you write a song? And a lot of people in the comments here, you can see, are like, I don't care he's on Rogan. The kind of men who listen to his podcast need Jesse Wells' words in their head. So if this is the vehicle for some broadening of horizons, I'm here for it. As well as that comment from earlier that I referenced, Jesse Wells is a modern-day Dylan on a podcast with Joe Rogan is exactly where he belongs.
I make these tunes, but that one in particular, I was like, how do I address this? What do you even say? So
how do you approach something like that? Do you sit down with a pad and pen, or do you start writing? Like how do you start singing?
Step one is avoid the work. So I went I went for some long jogs. I wrote a song about Amazon instead and put up like Amazon is Santa Claus, and I kept sitting there and it kept getting, the situation was snowballing with the United Healthcare thing, and I was like, okay, you gotta write. And at that point it's a research project. Let's write 2,000 words so that we can have 300 to sing and boil down the essence of the issue and make it rhyme and put a jolly tune behind it. That's kind of how that goes about.
So hell yeah, more power to you, Jesse Wells, and power to all of you who are watching, who are supporting the Really American Network here as we call out Donald Trump and his regime, and we look to do what Midas Touch and fellow creators are doing and overtake the right-wing manosphere internet presence to bring some progressive, democratic, pro-democracy news, coverage, and analysis to the space with humor at the same time. Because that is the way that we win. For Really American, I am Kenny Hesse. I love all of your faces. I will see you guys in the next one.